Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy May 4th. Happy, at least here in Montana, it's happy rain because we need water. We need snow. So pray for rain in the Pacific Northwest so we can keep the fires down. So, hello. It's been weird, very weird. I called this is are we having energetic uploads or overwhelm or all of the above or what? Right? What? So, for those of you who've been following me for a while, I'm an educator, of course. I like to put things into concepts, but I'm a researcher. And when I do these deep dives, I'm a historian by trade and researcher by passion and then teacher by like skill, right? So I'm going to break some things down for you and see how they land with you and then let me know, right? Because the most important thing is put in the comments, tell me, how does this resonate with you? Does it align? Is it congruent with what you know? Um, yeah, like what is going on, right? Okay, so first and foremost, our traditional ways of measuring energy, like solar flares, spaceweather.com, the KP index, Schumann resonance, they're all cattywonkum. They are all over the place, and and it hasn't been easy to understand what's going on. Basically, we've had an entire week of high B class, which is almost indistinguishable, right? Some C1s, C2, C3, right? And occasionally a bump up to, oh my gosh, we had an M1 when we're in the most intense solar energy we've ever experienced. So, what we want to talk about is the fact that the KP index is really down. So, if you go to the Aurora section of Space Weather Live, you'll see that the KP index is down and it hasn't been high, telling us that crazy things are going on with solar winds or whatever. Yet we have this sort of measured solar winds here. And then when we come over here to this side, this is what it looked like yesterday, that the winds were really going strong and it was more difficult to measure, right? So we've had this increase in electromagnetic energy. It's been pummeling us. Earlier this week, we had full blackout in Spain, Portugal, Belgium, and some other regions in Europe. We had a huge fire, a technical fire at Heathrow Airport. And what I'm noticing is that there's this huge flux in solar flare energy, and it's highlighting our outdated systems. It's showing us what we measured, what we thought we knew, and how to do that, right? And what's happening is it's falling apart. We have our electronic systems are faulty. Our cell towers, our aviation, our satellites, everything is based on holding an energy flux at a certain level. And when it increases, we're not sure what to do with that, right? Number two, we have systems that are no longer functioning the way that they were supposed to or measuring what they were designed to do, right? So I'm going to go to Alexander Quinn, who is a more recent guy I've been following, and I like the way that he works because he channels the Octurians, and the Octurians are a science-based race, and so they're giving us information as to what is going on. And what he says basically is that the sun, right? And I'm going to go over here to this one. The sun is just pummeling us with the heliosphere of the sun, and the way he broke it down is wobbling and sort of letting more in, right? And the sun is hitting us on electromagnetic fields, right? And our earth shield is changing. So we're feeling it in our bodies. All sentient beings and the earth itself are feeling this, right? And it is this swirl of something we haven't experienced before. Now, what I thought was really interesting is that what holds the heliosphere of the sun in place is Pluto, the ninth planet. Now, we did so much work months over the last few, 2 months ago, a month ago, on Pluto entering into Aquarius, right? So Pluto is the transformer. And Pluto as a planet on tarot is the death card, cutting away what no longer serves us, what no longer works, freeing us up for something else. Well, this little planet of Pluto is holding the sun's heliosphere over our solar system. And I thought that it's so interesting that the transformer is in control of this, and what we're experiencing is an enormous amount of sun, an enormous amount of fire coming in, right? That's changing things, right? So as he said, when the heliosphere and the Earth's electromagnetic field are up. They're not showing us the same sealed system that they've been decreasing and changing up to 10 to 20% over the last decade or so. Then the symptoms are up, and the symptoms, as we know, is going to be ringing in the ears. It's going to be heart palpitations. It's going to be aches and pains in our joints. My fingers, all of my arthritic joint pain is just off the charts. Um, Dizziness, nausea, digestive issues, sleep, exhaustion, anxiety, agitation. These are the traditional symptoms that Pam Youngins mentions constantly on her uh, slow down, Denise, on her Facebook page. And she's been tracking solar flares along with me for the last 2.5 years. So these symptoms are traditional and they're real, right? Okay. So that said, I want to shift gears and I want to talk about something, a deep dive that I did in my research that I've been on my edge of my seat for the last 3 days to come share with you. So here we go. So, many of you may have heard of Dana Kippel. She's been doing a lot of work on plasma. Now, she calls plasma the divine feminine, right? But she defines it, she's very scientific in how she does it. She defines this as the responsive medium through which consciousness, intelligence, and information interfaces with matter. We are 99.9% plasma. The solar system is plasma. The universe is plasma. Our bodies are plasma. And the plasma is changing. Okay. So when I go to this idea that the system, the intelligence, the communication of how we interface with matter is changing, I had an example that sort of came up on the symptoms and this idea of plasma. That let's say that you're a spider, and for the very first time, you're not hanging out with other spiders, you don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden your skin starts to get really tight and you think you're dying, right? And you crack out of the skin that you have and you leave it, and you now are in a bigger, different body, and you move on. It seems to me that what's happening is the plasma, it's really odd. Sometimes you get to watch me cough. That the plasma is making such dramatic changes as it's interfacing with this sun that is just beating down on us, that every part of our consciousness, our intelligence, our ability to navigate on the earth is changing. So if plasma is 99% of the makeup of our universe, it is the underlying source of all matter, right? And it's carried in photons, in electromagnetic surges, and it's a state of communication. It's a superconductive system, right? That ionizes the field that it connects energy to. So go study plasma. Go to ChatGPT. Go to YouTube and look up Dana Kippel. Go read up on plasma, because plasma is this organic living system. And they talk about plasma all the time on Star Trek, on all of the versions of Star Trek, right? As it's an interfacing bridge of energy between our consciousness and our field of operation. So when we have this plasma that's being introduced and activated on a much higher level, right? We have fire coming into our system that we didn't know was coming. We weren't prepared, whatnot. So I'm working with the temperance card, because it's my heart of the matter for the 28-day moon phase. And I'm on Eli Strickland's site, and he does Western Hermetic tarot, and he's doing this deep dive into plasma. And I'm like, oh my God, plasma is coming at me from 3 different places, right? And in his position, when we get inundated with an enormous amount of photon light, plasmic consciousness, energy surges, right? What he says is that it causes us to go into, and he calls it a premature Kundalini. Think of premature meaning not right or wrong, just earlier than we thought, right? We hadn't really got our feet on the ground yet. We weren't expecting it, and it came. And so we thought we were doing enlightenment from our head. We thought we were doing these ascension symptoms. We thought that we were navigating really well. But when this sun hit, this massive light on an ill prepared body caused physical reactions, and our body is bioelectric, so it's having a response to it, right? And our electromagnetic fields are responding and communicating with this plasma. And get this, he lists out all of the symptoms of what he calls a premature Kundalini. And it is point by point the exact same symptoms that we've been covering as solar flare symptoms. So, what if it's not solar flares? What if it is the increase in electromagnetic or conscious plasma upgrades into our systems? And I'm like, mind blown, absolutely mind blown, which is we are thinking and trying to manage through our existing systems instead of going outside and trying to look at, well, if I'm doing this and the sun is putting an enormous amount of light onto me, then it makes sense that I am going to experience some levels of unpreparedness. So this premature ignition, these levels of unpreparedness, right, sort of hit our physical, it caused physical an energetic overwhelm. It caused emotional dysregulation. It caused ego fragmentation, like who I was, what I thought I knew, everything that all the whole world that I had built around this system of who I was is falling apart. And this misinterpretation of a mystical state, like maybe this is what love is, this is what the presence of Aquarius is, this is what ascension is. And I'm not mocking it. What I'm saying is that we had a limited perspective, and now it's time to sort of blow that open and start putting, what is it? What's our real relationship with plasma? What do we know about it and why? Because we weren't really ready. Let's be really clear. The energy rose and it affected our mental, emotional, and physical bodies. So we're having symptoms straight across the board, all over the world. Every individual, even our Earth is having reactions and rumbling, and we're seeing a rise in earthquakes. So Stephen Burns is going like big earthquake coming, almost 3 times a week now. Our egos haven't surrendered and said, "Oh, maybe I didn't know what I was doing," and we're going into panic and we're going into fear and we're going into illnesses, like things. We're starting to create a separation between us and this energy, and our nervous system is struggling with all of this voltage that's coming in. Of course it is, right? Our nervous system isn't joyful and easy like this. It's sort of crumbled. And I wish I don't know if I have a picture. I don't think I have a picture of what happens. I could have pulled one out when the light comes in and it totally suppresses us, and it's like, ah, man, I am so not ready for this. I do have a picture. Give me a second. Looks like this. This is what we have been experiencing with this premature Kundalini, right? So we have burnout, we have adrenal fatigue, we have spiritual emergencies. Like, I don't know who I am, and everything I thought I believed in isn't working anymore. Of course, because we are morphing. We're shedding a skin like the spider or like the snake in the year of the snake. Of course, it makes sense. I went spider. I guess I probably should have used snake. Who knows? So I've got 6 tips for you on what we can do about this. But first, I want to do 2 things. I want to invite you to Patreon because I'm throwing all of these articles, and the women, those that are on Patreon with us are just throwing articles in there, and we're just sharing things. It's $11 a month, and you can come join our discussions. Second thing is that I'm having a blast with this. So if this is something that you want some mentoring in, or you want some tarot clarity, just drop me a note and to my scheduler and come on in and meet with me, and let's see what we can do. I would love to do this with you. So, okay, tip number 1 is to absolutely honor the fire, the surges, the influx, everything that's coming with it. So the way that you honor it is you take this awareness, and I'm going to use the temperance card here, which is you match the fire with water. So, and that's the alchemical process. So the fire comes in, big surges in plasma, plasmoids, protons, everything, photons coming in and inundating us. So what we do is we match it and we meet it. So we honor the fire and we meet it with feelings. Oh, I'm feeling this. I'm noticing this. And instead of doing it in our head, we do it with our body and we match the fire and we adapt our system to meet it with emotions, with feeling, with water. Okay, so we honor the fire and we meet it with water. That's the first one. Water is your emotions. Water is how you feel. So for the last, since 2012, 2010, feel. How are you feeling? FEEL is a 4-letter F word. Like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know what my emotions are. Now we get to practice those and put them forward. Okay. Number 2, um, ground yourself. Ground your light. This grounding is so important. And I have this beautiful card here, which is the 8 of discs in tarot. And Osho calls this ordinariness, right? And this is where you develop your grounding skills. And whatever you thought you knew how to do to ground, you go ground deeper. Take your feet on the ground, really feel them in. Take your presence down to the center of the earth. Let Gaia hold you, because you have this entire planet that is saying you don't have to do this alone. Ground with me, hold with me, and we will do this together. It's not as hard when we do this together, right? This is important, and it can help take the heat off your nervous system, and it is what we call embodiment. So we're breathing, right? We're stabilizing our nervous system, and we're using the outside to ground us. Number 3, wow, I dropped that one. Number 3, nurture yourself. Now, it's not nurture others, it's nurture yourself. What do you need? What do you need? Is it water? Is it minerals? Is it rest? Is it a walk outside? Is it a break? You have to advocate for yourself in your workplace, in your family system, in your relationships with your head, that I need this right now because I'm taking on an enormous task of addressing the schism, right? The difference between the energy that's coming in and the preparedness in my body, and I have to bring them together. And I'm going to be much more efficient when I take time for myself and when I nurture, right? Number 4, solar partnership. Oh, man, own your body where it collects solar energy and plasma. So this partnership isn't what we think it is. Like, solar partnership to me is where I do sun gazing in the morning. I could get up early and I just watch the sun cresting over the mountains here in Montana. And for that first minute or two, I'm just looking directly at it and watching the rays. And I do the same thing at sunset. So I fill my eyes with early morning or late evening solar rays as they're either leaving or opening up. The second thing is, when the sun is at its fullest, is that I close my eyes and I open my third eye and I imagine that I have a fuel tank in my entire cellular system, and I'm just sort of plugging the sun in to my forehead and filling my tank up. That way I'm in charge, I'm in control. I'm managing how the sun, the photon energy, is working with my body, and I'm not in this victim or being pummeled by it. I'm actually embracing it and saying, good morning, this is what we're going to do today. So solar partnership. Number 5, take care of yourself first, because you have to self-manage. This is different than nurturing. This is you being the self-manager and not rescuing others. If you notice that they're struggling, you have to put that oxygen mask on. You have to stabilize your nervous system. You have to get yourself hydrated first, so that you can then be a model or a mirror or hold space for somebody, because we don't want to absorb their problems, which make our symptoms worse. What we want to do is we want to manage ourselves. So self-management, right? And the last one is to have compassion. Wow, we are addressing these physical, mental, emotional processes in our own way, in our own journey, and everybody's journey is different. So the best thing you can do is just sort of go like, I honor your journey, and it's very different than mine. And I have compassion for all that you're going through and for all that I'm going through. It's all we can do is hold compassion as we navigate through this, because it is going to be so exciting to watch what blossoms, what grows with this intake of plasma. I'm excited. So I'll keep talking on my Patreon, and I will see you next Sunday if I don't hear from you. Take care. Enjoy. And tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, 555. So get out and prepare for some changes. Take care. Bye bye.